Okay, so I'm back again. Just had a live scan show up. She didn't have her ID. And if so, here in California, they have to have a California driver's license or a driver's license from another state or a state ID in order to take their fingerprints. If they don't have that as their primary identification, then you have to go to secondary IDs such as passport, pay stub with their name and address, utility bill, social security card, marriage certificate. There's a big long list of information to get secondary forms of ID. So we're trying to make sure that that's the right person. So if somebody comes and says, here's I don't have a driver's license with my picture on it, but I need to get fingerprinted. You need to get multiple forms of ID to make sure that everything matches up and it all works out. So that's just a side note. So now I'm going to get into what I was really talking about, what I wanted to talk about. So everybody's talking about doing fingerprinting. So I wanted to share with you the steps here in California. So if you're outside of California, you have to Google what is necessary to take fingerprints. And the first thing, before you even get involved with doing electronic fingerprinting, you need to see what it takes to do ink fingerprinting. That's what you need to do. Learn how to do that, or what it takes to do that in your state, and then do it. Start doing it. Advertise, whatever it takes to do it. Buy the ink and the cards, the FD258 cards, and you're good to go. And practice with people. Okay, advertise that you do that service. Then once you have that, or you're able to do that, then start looking into the live scan or biometric electronic fingerprinting. Okay, so here in California, we have to go through the DOJ. You just can't buy equipment and start taking people's fingerprints. There's specific companies that you have to go through in order to transmit the information to the Department of Justice. Okay, so I use the company I use is called G2 Solutions. They're out here in Vacaville, and they are my intermediary between myself and the DOJ. So I purchased a software. It's called Clue, where I can capture all their fingerprints electronically and submit it to G2 Solutions, who will then submit it to the DOJ. And then the DOJ will process it and send it back to the agency that's requesting the fingerprints, the results of the background check. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about equipment. Okay, so you can buy your own equipment. Okay, you don't need to buy it from the provider that's providing you the software. Okay, but you need to talk to that provider and say, hey, I have a computer here that I want to use, or I'm going to buy my own computer because I want to get the fancy computer that I want instead of your junky computer that you're going to supply to me and overcharge me. And what I mean by that is, you can buy a computer from the provider and they're going to charge you, let's say $1,500 for a computer, and it's like a $500 computer. You're like, I just paid $1,000 for something that I could have bought a better computer, for $1,500 if I had outlaid the money out of my own pocket rather than pay for somebody else, to have them supply me a computer. So that's what I did. I went and I bought a computer. I bought a ThinkPad from Lenovo. I like those computers. They're built for business. They cost more money. I think I paid $1,500 for this computer, and I've had it for coming up on 3 years now. And, it's probably going to last me, probably last me a good 10 years if I take care of it. Okay. Now, the thing to recognize about equipment is if you're it runs Windows. Okay, so I've got a car driving by. I'm outside in my outside office. If you if you buy a computer with Windows 10, for example, mine's Windows 10. Well, now they're on Windows 11. Well, pretty soon the provider's gonna say, hey, you need to upgrade to Windows 11. Gotta go. Lady's back. Okay, back again. Just she brought her information, so I was able to take those fingerprints. So here's the equipment that I use. I'm mobile. I work out of my house here at the have a table up on my porch, but since I'm mobile, I can carry all my equipment. So I was talking about the laptop. The laptop should be a good quality laptop. Get what you want on that. Make sure you check the specs with whoever's providing you the software so you get the right thing and so forth. And then you need the fingerprint reader. So I use this fingerprint reader. This is a 5.0. You can read that 5.0 fingerprint scanner. Okay, it's about the size of, well, it's like the size of your hand, but it's like a credit card size, a little larger. But so I can carry that around with my laptop. And those are the only two pieces of equipment that are mandatory to do live scan fingerprinting. Okay, now I do have a 2D scanner, barcode scanner to scan people's IDs, the barcode on the back of your ID. So let me get my ID here so that you can scan my info here. So that barcode right there. Now everybody's pausing it, scanning where I live. That's fine. It's already public knowledge. I'm in a couple databases where I live. So if you really want to know where I live, you can Google Kilo 1 Juliet Tango Charlie, and you'll know exactly where I live. Anyway, another person coming. So those are the three pieces of equipment that I use that are necessary. Well, they're not necessary. The scanner's not necessary, the 2D laser scanner, but I also have as a backup that you can use, but this is specific to California because it might not work in other states depending on if they have a mag stripe or not. But I have a mag stripe reader here. This picks up all three tracks on a card. It's a USB, so I can plug that in. I've used it like once. Okay, so these are cheap to get, but it's better if you get the laser reader, barcode reader, because you can everybody has those barcodes on their IDs, and you don't have to worry about formatting from the magnetic stripes. Not to worry about that. Okay, so that's it. Just one other thing that I have, which is on here, that is my stamp. Maybe that I shouldn't throw that out there either, but that's my name and my company name and my LSID number that I use so that I get billed and they know who to bill, the DOJ knows who to bill, and so forth. Because every month I get a bill, which is actually going out today, for all the fees from the prior month of me doing live scan for people. So that's it. That is it in a nutshell. If you need additional information, like you're in California and you want to talk to the vendor that I use, I'll be happy to give you that information. You can send me an email, text, or however you want to communicate with me, and I will give you that information. Okay. There's a whole process to go through to even get to that point where you need to buy equipment. Like that's one of the last steps that you need to be approved by the DOJ to even do fingerprinting here in California. So the first step is becoming a certified fingerprint roller. Okay, that's the first step here in California. In other states, you may or may not have to do that. And that's up to you to Google that and find out what the requirements are to be able to take fingerprints in your state. So please check that out. And if you have any questions, just feel free to contact me directly and I'll be happy to try and get you the information. But if you're in a different state, I am not going to Google for you. Okay. That's the thing. I don't have time to figure that information out. Okay. So go do it. Have a great day, everyone.